Well, I mean, National Trust's an organisation that is dedicated to preserving special places for the use of everyone in the British public. They were originally founded based on the idea of more based on land. Cool. So National Trust is basically an organisation that's dedicated to preserving special places, houses, gardens, coastal footpaths, things like that for the use of the British public. The last few years they've shifted their approach a little bit more to outdoors areas with developments like the cycle hire and the trails that we've got here at Hopwood. Cool. So National Trust is a British charity organisation dedicated to preserving outdoor spaces, green places, country estates, coastal paths, places like that for the good of the nation and for everyone in the nation to use. They've shifted their approach a little bit more recently into outdoor activity areas, such as the development we've got here at Hopwood with the cycle trails and the cycle hire. The idea being to get people out into the wider estates that they manage rather than just the traditional houses, formal gardens, things like that. We're trying to get people to do more experience-based things. They've been interested in surf areas and also mountain biking nowadays as well. So we've got this new development here at Hopwood of cycle trails. We've got 15 kilometres of trails on the estate, ranging from really easy stuff that anyone can get along and ride, family riders and less able riders even, all the way up to quite advanced mountain bike trails for the guys who really want to push themselves. So some jumps, some big corners, stuff that might scare the average rider, but also a really good gradient of stuff in between, so that no matter what level you're at, you can step up a little bit, or you can enjoy something that might ordinarily be a little bit out of your comfort zone. We've managed to get loads of local kids on mountain bikes, which is an amazing thing. It's good to see kids getting off the PlayStations and getting onto the mountain bikes. I like to see people getting active. There's a lot of people in the trust who feel the same way. Getting people into the outdoors is what it's all about. So sort of quite stern and obviously not the most socially active kids in the world, and by the time they come back in they're like, yeah, amazing, it was really good with this, that and the other, and I think that's the more important. I can say a bit about who designed and built the trails.
Yeah, that's good. Cool.
Stuff.
Yeah.
The trails were designed and built by a company called Trail, who are the same company who built the Olympic BMX tracks. They build a lot of the World Cup mountain bike tracks all over the world, so the way that they build their trails is pretty well honed over a lot of years of experience. And they have to take a load of factors into consideration, like how well the trails drain, how steep the trails are going to be, so that the trails deal with whatever weather we get. Obviously we get some pretty nasty weather and some pretty diverse weather in Britain, so it's nice to know that the trails aren't going to get all boggy in the winter and get really difficult to ride, and they're going to be safe as well. The other thing that they bring to it is they build trails with a lot of flow, so the trails work really well to hold your speed. They distract you from the fact that you've done climbs by making the trail flow and more enjoyable to ride. Sometimes if you're sort of slogging away on a really monotonous trail, it just feels like super hard work. These guys have built trails that let you do a climb without even realising that you've done a climb, because it keeps sort of floating up and down and around corners. It just keeps it interesting. So we've got really good trails that we're...
Right, cool, go for it.
Cool, so we've got 16 kilometres of trails on the estate, ranging everything from really easy stuff for people who've never ridden a bike before, all the way through to advanced mountain bike trails. The trails have been built by a company called Trail, who are responsible for building the Olympic BMX tracks and a lot of the World Cup mountain bike trails. So the way the trails have been constructed, they've got a really good flow to them and they're really good fun, really enjoyable to ride.